Hello and welcome. Okay, I think we are up and running successfully this time. Let me just double check everything. Yep, and it looks like everything is fine and running. So let's just quickly start the chat as well. Okay, so let me go to my Screeps. Interesting things have been happening in the meantime, overnight. So I now have control over this room, which was kind of expected because, yeah, there wasn't really much happening in this room. And I don't really plan to control this room. I will be just reserving it and remote mining. But the neat thing that happened was that now I also have, well, I will soon have, just put it that way, control over this room, because you might notice there is no spawn here. I'm not quite sure what actually happened, but I kind of looked at this room and it didn't have any creeps and all the towers were out of energy. So, you know, I kind of took a stab at it, dismantled the spawn, and I'm pretty sure at this point I kind of own this room. But it will take a long time for this thing to decay. So yeah, I'm sending my creeps to kind of try to nibble at that a bit. But yes, like this thing will definitely take a while to kind of downgrade. And I think this will be a room that I actually want to control, because looking at, you know, the rooms on the south, this is where the neutral creeps are actually spawning, and like holding this room will not be easy. While this room kind of still is on like the tail of this snake of a map. So if we go back to the big map, basically these top 3 rooms, which is kind of my main base, they don't really have any exits apart from, you know, the going to north to the like main corridor here. Then it snakes down and exits into this room, and there's like no other way to get here, which is great. So this is kind of just very enclosed. Now this one technically can be accessed from the west, but it's actually pretty easy to get it walled off. So if you look at the map, you know, there's a pretty narrow entrance, and there's like the only entrance to get through, and walling this off is not very hard. So, you know, we just continue snaking down, which is very cool, and we end up in this room, which makes sense to hold because this one suddenly has a bunch of exits. And then we are, you know, very close to the invaders, and it's becoming interesting suddenly. So I think that's kind of my goal, to see, you know, basically have this expire, capture this room, and then try to kind of expand. And because I'm kind of in this period where I don't really expect much to be happening because of this, I kind of need to wait for this thing to expire. It's a great point to kind of work on my economy, and also to kind of start working on my CPU, because you actually don't see that, but my CPU utilization has been spiking a lot. Can I actually see that in yeah, I probably cannot see it over here. Okay, I can just pull it down here. So yeah, like in the normal operations I'm using like half my CPU, but sometimes this does like spike up to like 40. So it's time to kind of clean up my code, you know, during this period of being kind of blocked on expanding. And see, like 37 CPU cores. I'm actually not quite sure where that's coming from. So some sort of monitoring is maybe in order. We will see. But yeah, this stream will be mainly about cleaning up my code, optimizing my code, scaling things up, so we can actually, start doing some more interesting operations when we come close to the invaders. Because I'm very much interested grabbing some of these tasty rooms that have a bunch of energy sources in them. And another thing to kind of consider is also I have built the extractor on the mineral, but I haven't really checked how to use this thing. So there is a bit of an exploration aspect here as well. But yeah, we are working super hard on upgrading this thing. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. So we are not too far from getting this to level 7. But yeah, time to improve the code a bit. So let's go back to the code, and I think kind of to get idea of like where's the CPU getting lost so much, I actually kind of want to have a bit of a debug logging about how much CPU I actually use. So let's start with that. I know that there's a CPU remaining thing because I actually use it at the very end to generate pixels. Yay! Welcome to the channel and thanks for the follow. TrevX. So yeah, we have the CPU bucket. This is an amount of unused CPU accumulated in your bucket. So we will be looking at this value in between the calls to kind of figure out where the cost is going. So let's start at the top end. We will kind of go down and see what's what. Okay. Game.cpu.bucket. Okay, so we start with this, and then we will just, after interesting things kind of happen, we will always look at the value and print out the difference. So I guess let's start, yeah, here. So this is kind of just the initialization where I kind of deserialize things out of the memory. So this should be very cheap, but yeah, maybe I will be surprised, who knows. Hey, welcome back. So console.log. Okay. Sure. I mean, you don't have to excuse yourself. If that's what you are saying, it's, yeah. Okay. So we want to log how much CPU we spent on the deserialization. So we'll actually need another variable. Remaining, so I need the remaining CPU and I need the current CPU. And yeah, the beginning is the same, but then what I want to do is current CPU, just always update it and then print out the difference. Remaining CPU minus current CPU. So init scheduler, init job scheduler. So these are job schedulers. So I'm actually quite interested in how much this thing costs. Current CPU. Okay. CPU bucket. So this is CPU spent on scheduler's initialization, on data. Okay, so over here this will be how much we spent on spawning, which is up to here. Yeah, so let's just put it over here. Oh, and I totally forgot, I actually need to update the, yeah, I actually need to update the remaining CPU, of course, because otherwise I will be just monotonically increasing values, which is not that helpful. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to look at the deltas, that's it. Okay. So this is... well, this becomes interesting. Now, I can just kind of clump this together as remote operations, but I kind of want this to see as a separate thing, because this piece of code is kind of my room control logic. And then down here, this is kind of the remote operations logic. Yeah. Spent on remote operations. Yeah, so now we have the defense, which is controlling the towers, but I really don't expect this to be doing anything really, because I mean, I'm not. This will only consume CPU if I'm getting actually attacked. But the interesting part is this thing, which is actually the creep control. Now, I probably actually want to split this up. So right now, my creep control kind of goes through like all the possible roles and, you know, just runs the logic for that role. But it would actually kind of make sense to, you know, account, okay, like all the harvesters are using this much CPU, all the, you know, workers are using this much CPU, and so on. Okay. Memory. Yeah, and basically down here will be CPU spent on serialization. Okay, so now if you push this up, you should start seeing all of this information in our log, which is what I kind of want to get, and let's have a look at it. I might be looking at the wrong thing. So is it not bucket? Yeah, this probably isn't exactly what I want then. The amount CPU actually used in the current tick is shown get CPU. Yeah, maybe I want something slightly different. Let's look at the API. So there's game.cpu. It has a limit, tick limit, bucket, shard limits, unlocked, unlock time. Get object by ID. Yeah, okay, I think the problem what's actually happening is that this is counting in full CPUs, and I'm using less than a single CPU. But then the problem is I don't actually quite know how to do this. Let's try to find something. So there is a library. I mean, okay, I guess the question is what is this thing actually using? Set up memory, restart. Memory profiler. Performance.now used on start, so it's through get used. Okay. Maybe the problem is I need to actually accumulate this over multiple invocations, but CPU get used. I'm using the bucket, right? Okay, so what is the get used? CPU get used. The amount of CPU time used from the beginning of the current game tick. Okay, so I guess let's just switch to that then. It should be a straight up replacement, I think. Because this will keep getting me deltas still, which is what I want. Okay, almost there. Yeah, so I can just initialize this to 0 because that's how it's counted. Okay. Let's just double check if we are doing the correct thing everywhere. Okay, seems fine. So let's just push it. And let's watch. Well, almost. Welcome back. Well, you know, I've been streaming for 20 minutes, so not enough time to miss you yet. Why am I getting negative numbers? I think I'm subtracting the wrong thing from the wrong thing. Okay, let's check. So current CPU is... remaining CPU... Yes, okay, yeah, obviously this needs to be in the opposite direction. Yeah, damn it. Okay. And I'm calling these things... ah, damn it, the wrong way. Well, thank you, and good luck with whatever is the another subject. So the remaining CPU shouldn't be called remaining CPU, it should be like last measurement or something like that. Because that's the semantics of this field. Wait, what? I kind of lost my place now. Node. Oh, so this is the remote. Okay, yeah, okay. The code does indeed need a cleanup. Okay, almost there. Yep, that's it. And the last thing then what I wanted to do is just change the remaining CPU to be like the last measurement or something. So rename symbol, last CPU measurement. I hope that's how you spell it, because the spell checker is going crazy. Okay, this should be better. Yeah, so I'm spending... yeah, it looks like basically like all the CPU spent on the creep logic, which is good from one side, but it will be hard to optimize. I'm also spending like a not insignificant amount of CPU on initializing the schedulers, which, I mean, that's not that's kind of desirable. Like, the schedulers really need to be the important part of the logic. So yeah, I really expect that the big chunk of the creep logic here is actually spent on the pathfinding, which is a thing I haven't optimized at all so far. So yeah, we probably should have like take a look at that. Yeah, 24. It's really the creep logic that's really being super expensive. Okay, so let's think about this a bit. Let me start my notepad. So yeah, these are the notes from yesterday. So there's a couple of things to consider. I'm really thinking about kind of designing like pretty much highways. So if you think about it like these, for example, these remote miners right here that keep going up and down, there really isn't a reason for them to do basically any pathfinding as long as they are kind of on, you know, this thing over here. They should just keep moving essentially like a one-way road. You know, if you're going out, just go on this path. If you're going in, just go on this path. And then at some point the path ends, and sure, that like at that point they need to kind of do the last mile pathing to kind of figure out, oh, like, I'm basically standing on this rampart, how do I get to, where I actually want to be standing, or something like that. But they should be relatively cheap. And I know that there's a way to actually store the paths somewhere. So there was a room. There's definitely a cache for pathing somewhere. Position. Okay. Hey Sal, out of 10, like right now I'm like at like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's a lot of fun. Like part of that is like it's actually a pretty deep game. There's like lots of things to discover, and I'm still like just scratching the surface. I suspect there will definitely come a point where I'm kind of like, okay, like I have kind of written my code and it works, well enough. And I don't know what will happen at that point, but so far it has been a lot of fun, I have to say. Right now I'm trying to figure out, okay, let's actually try to look for it. Maybe extra comments you can limit. Damn it. Where have I seen that? I'm trying to figure out where exactly I have seen a specific thing about caching of paths. Wait, what came out last week? I mean, okay, I'm playing Call of Duty. That came out on Friday. But did anything big come out? I mean, there's like the some of the things for the new consoles, right? But what else came out? Oh yeah, okay, so it's all the new console. Well, Valhalla technically isn't. Okay, sure. But yeah, Miles Morales and Demon's Souls, that's PS4, right? PS5, and Valhalla is, yeah, Valhalla isn't really my type of game. it's a bit too much grind open world than, you know, substance. I have enjoyed like very few open world games. Witcher 3 is like perfect, and we will see what Cyberpunk will do. I'm really hoping Cyberpunk will be good, because like if it's like Witcher but science fiction, I will be so thrilled. But I'm kind of worried that it will be quite different. Yes, this reuse path thing. I mean, I have seen it. Okay, so let's pick one of these guys. Oh yeah, there's something wrong with the UI again. Let's reload. Okay. So if you look at this guy specifically, yeah, there's this move object. So it has a destination, it has a specific path that's being cached. Okay. So is the semantics that it will reuse the path the amount of ticks which the path should be reused for? Okay, so this will basically cache the path for 5 ticks. Okay, so for the remote miners, this is definitely not enough. 5 ticks. Oh yeah, I have seen the videos on the reflections in Watch Dogs Legions. Like they look nuts. Yes. This is one of the things, like as these, you know, with the new DirectX and the new console supporting this, like we will get a lot of games actually supporting proper reflections and everything. It will be good times for sure. This path is enabled and this option is set to true. The path will be stored in memory. Okay. Okay, so we definitely want to tweak the reuse path. That's for sure. Now I'm also getting the feeling that I might want to... Yeah. I'm still not 100% sure on how the heck the pathfinding works, because like I don't get like why do the creeps like make these weird like sideways moves all the time. Like it's, yeah. So this is a web-based game. You just register and then, so I would recommend, they have a good tutorial. If you go to Screeps.com, you sign in, and then after you sign in, there will be an option to go through tutorial, and the tutorial is pretty good. It's in the training section. There's a tutorial and there's also training where you can like play in a simulated room. But it is an MMO, so you know, if I look at the world, like this is me, this like tricolor wedge or whatever you would call it. that's me. And then, you know, like this is a player, these are all different players, the different symbols. This is actually an NPC invader down here, the red one. But yeah, it's basically an MMO for software developers, or coders, I guess is the better way to put it. So first of all, okay, let's start taking notes. So first of all, we can optimize pathing. We can set the number of ticks to cache the pathing for. But yeah, I'm still not 100% sure I understand the pathing overall. Like, you know, if we are here. Oh, wait a second, where did I? That was not the correct thing to click on. Yeah. Like, there's all these, like, weird, like, sideways moves, and I don't quite understand where they're coming from. Like, is it either trying to, like, avoid each other, or... That's another thing, I don't quite get, like, what's the avoidance logic here, like... Because I have definitely seen the creeps to kind of pass each other. So they can definitely, like, move through each other. But I suspect they cannot, like, end up on the same space. So maybe that's the avoidance logic there. Yeah, it's... I don't have enough information to understand this properly. Oh, actually no, let's just put them down here. But I will definitely, since I'm using this road now a lot, I will definitely... I don't want this one anymore. I will definitely improve this road to be double spaced. And yeah, since they keep like going through here, then makes sense to just, you know, upgrade this as well. Now, it would really be neat to kind of say that, you know, like if I have like a double road, that this part of the road is only, you know, like the inbound direction, for example, and if you're going out, you need to be on the bottom or something. Oh, interesting. I mean, it's not a horrific idea, but I mean, it took me a while to just get through the tutorial, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know how exactly you would use it for recruiting. Like, you would have to kind of craft specific scenarios or something. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's just a bit curious, like how exactly do they do that? But yeah, I mean, if it works for them, then sure. I mean, it is plain coding, like you are coding stuff. And I mean, I don't even know how many lines of code I already have, but I do have like a reasonable amount of code already. Definitely. Okay, so let's... Yeah, so this is one of the things I kind of want to reach. I almost feel like I should change my job scheduler so I don't really have... like effectively having a room and have the room like control possibly adjacent rooms. So if there's like, you know, mining spots in there, that might be like a more systematic solution to everything than just kind of having the distinction between like remote operation and local operations, because I mean, I could build walls and containers in here even though I don't control this area. So maybe I can definitely do it because I do have the scout in the room. Okay, maybe let's try to rethink the job scheduling logic then, because I have been complaining about that one for a bit. Like it has been a bit broken, honestly. So it's almost like I should basically have so right now it's kind of organized by jobs, which maybe isn't the best thing to do. Like maybe what I want is look at a room, get all the entities, and this can be like on a periodic refresh, right? I don't have to run this every tick. It would basically mean like if I put down a construction site, it will get picked up, like, I don't know, if I say refresh this every 10 ticks, then it will get picked up in like the 10th tick. And only then, you know, the creep might be getting scheduled to actually do it. But yeah, I think this makes sense. So look at the room, get all the entities. Now for each building that decays, this can potentially generate repair jobs. For each building that has energy, so this is potentially refill jobs. My controller has an upgrade job. What else do we have? We have repairs, all construction sites. For all construction sites we have build jobs. What else? There's also like the sweeping, but I kind of made the sweeping very implicit. And it's almost like even so for the repair jobs as well. Oh, cool. And how is it working for you? Is it better with TypeScript? That's cool. Yeah. So by the way, interesting thing happened with this room. I just looked at it for a bit and there was no creeps in it, so I just dismantled the spawn. Now I'm kind of waiting on this thing to decay. So yeah, like one more expansion happening soon. But yeah, I'm kind of running out of, well, not really exactly running out of CPU. I did it like half an hour before the stream. I just saw an opportunity and I quickly jumped on it. So I kind of had to do it manually because I don't have like remote disassemblers yet, so I basically just sent some miners over here and just manually swap them over to be disassemblers. So it was kind of, you know, not really coded well, just kind of manually switching the logic of the creeps, but it worked, which is the main thing. And yeah, I think this will be this will be like a good forward base for me, because on each side of here, I think all these rooms are owned by the invaders. So it would, like, this will be a pretty interesting space to kind of fight. And I definitely then want to expand into one of the rooms that have like 3 sources of energy, like for example this one. Yeah. Interesting stuff coming, but right now I really need to kind of optimize my code because I'm burning through a lot of CPU and it's not good. You can't move into that one, it's a source keeper room. What does that mean? Oh, this one actually doesn't have a controller. Oh, sure. I didn't notice that, damn it. Yeah, these don't have controllers. Oh, okay. And this one does have a controller, okay. So I could control this one. Interesting stuff, okay. Well, anyway, damn it, I wish there was like a better way to take over these room controllers, because this will take forever to decay. I kind of understand why it's this way, but it's annoying. Yeah, but the thing is, you can only attack it every 1000 ticks. And I cannot build like big enough creeps for it to actually matter that much. I mean, it still speeds things up, but it's not like a huge difference. Okay, so yeah, you know what, I think I need to figure out which of the creeps are actually consuming that much CPU, because yeah. Yeah, I also ran into that problem once, and I missed the follow. Sorry, who was that? Where can I see that? Ah, Romila. Okay. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for the follow. So what I think I will do is basically have map from string into a number, and then what I really want to do is yeah, I actually do want to remember the last CPU measurement, but what I can do, I can just create another one. And then basically around these, what I want to do is the logic that I had. So so by row for harvester, oh damn it, this is the yeah, okay, maybe not like this. This will be the easiest way to do this. I think just creating variables might be the best idea. Yeah, this is like super variables and not very systematic, but the problem is whatever else I write, it will be can I just make a function for that? Yeah, I'm trying to think if there is like there's definitely a systematic way to do this, but I cannot really think of it. But yeah, maybe having an object would be the best idea. I'm writing this wrong. It's not constructible. Cannot do this inline. Might need to define an actual class for this. Where was that? Oh, here. Okay. Okay, and now if I do timing harvester, yeah. Okay, so this now works. Cool. So this will be game.cpu get used minus last CPU measurement. But I need to do it after I actually call it, right? Oh, and yeah, okay. Yeah, possibly something like this. Yeah, something like this logic. And this will give me the timings per roll. I mean, I kind of know where the CPU is getting burned, but just to kind of be sure that that's why I'm doing this. Oh, thank you. Well, good luck with whatever you are doing. Or I guess whatever you are busy with is the correct thing to say. Yeah, I do expect these remote miners to be burning a lot of CPU, honestly. I don't really have remote builders right now, so that should be fine. Oh, come on. And the claimer shouldn't really be consuming memory, CPU at all, basically. But yeah, we will see. If we find something surprising, that will be the thing to kind of look at and optimize. So yeah, this assembly is the last thing, and then basically what I want to do over here is for let key of object keys of timing, and then console.log by roll CPU spending for key is timing key. Okay, I think this should work. We'll see. Maybe things explode. I hope not. So let's go back here. Let's have a look at the console. Everything is not a number. Okay. Yes, because by default it's another number, and then if I keep just adding values to that, it's still another number. Okay, makes sense. Well, what I want to do then, if timing harvester is not a number, then timing, okay, I might as well just do it over here, and actually it would make even more sense to just do it in the constructor of the timing data. So yeah, this harvester is 0, this builder is 0. So we have worker, drill, scout, this worker, this. I hope this syntax actually works. This scout is 0, scout, worker, drill, remote miner, drill, scout, worker, and remote miner, and we also need remote builder. Yeah, okay, so we are only seeing those that actually appear right now. Remote miner, remote builder, and I think we don't have any claimers around right now, so, which is actually weird. We should have them around. Oh no, there is claimer in this list. Okay. I was about to say, like, we definitely should have some claimers around. So let's see if this explodes or if it actually works. Yep, it works. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we are basically burning. Yeah, it's in between the remote miners and the workers where the CPU is spent. Interestingly enough, the drills are also spending quite a lot of CPU for what they are doing. So I should have a look at what I'm doing in the code. Because like the drill should just drill. I think there's some sort of weird lookup happening there that's kind of not really needed. Yeah, so that's definitely a thing to look at. And to be fair, also the scouts, like the thing is, these two rows are basically, they're not really doing anything. They're just sitting in place and just doing the same thing over and over. So technically there should be basically 0 CPU happening on these, especially for the scouts. Like the scouts are literally just sitting in place and not doing anything. So I suspect that I should use like sort of flag that basically tells the scout or the drill that they are in place, and just remember, like, you know, just keep drilling and that's it. Actually, maybe can I see what's the actual like CPU cost of drilling? Because each of these methods that you call on the creeps, actually they do cost like different things. Oh, 0.2. Where is that thing actually? Where can I find that? And harvest. I mean, that's the logic I currently have, but basically what I want... so, I mean, really, what should be happening is... the moment the drill is in place, it should just keep drilling, and this basically should either return okay, or... I guess... tired? Possibly? I mean, that shouldn't really happen, but it's technically possible for it to happen. But where do you see that the cost is 0.2? Because that's the part I'm not quite getting. I mean, if that's the case, then actually my drills are good. Because that basically means that... where's this window? Yeah, so this is like 0.8-ish, which would make sense because I have 4 drills. So 0.8 is kind of... yeah, there's like a very small amount of overhead. Top right of the function. Okay. This damn it, come on. This method is an action that changes game state. It has additional 0.2 CPU cost added to its natural cost in case if OK code is returned. Okay. Good. So what we actually should be really measuring is the overhead. Oh, that will be much more complicated to do. But okay, the good thing is... oh, damn it. How do I'm trying to think like how do I make like decisions what to optimize, and it's not easy. I mean, this is actually, damn it, like this is really kind of on the similar level of complexity that the stuff I'm dealing at work. Okay, well, for the drills, I mean, what I will do is just do this here for now, just to see the overhead, and that's it. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's... the reason why I don't really want to get into Grafana is, like, that's the thing I'm doing at work right now, setting up, like, observability for our services. And I don't really want to be doing stuff that I'm doing at work as fun during the weekend. So I'm trying to kind of avoid that as much as possible. But I'm getting the feeling that I might need to. Oh well. Yeah, okay, so if I remove the like overhead of the like 0.2 per drill, then there's like only very little stuff happening. Okay. So Hmm. Do I actually have this room completely built up? Yes, I do. I mean, one thing I can definitely do is just cache the paths for the workers and remote miners for longer. But it doesn't really sound like a good systematic solution. Okay, let's see. There was definitely a way. So what I'm kind of thinking is, if I build like kind of manually or automatically, whichever way I choose, like if I kind of build highways for the creeps, I definitely want to see them. But there was definitely a way to like display things, but I don't know if it extends to like displaying things on the ground. NPC invaders modules, debugging. Rooms.visual, okay. Ah, room visual. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, I basically call the import and I call the export at the end of the tick and then import at the beginning of the tick. Sure. Okay, I think this might be good. Like I can basically pick some good like icon representations to do that. Basically what I'm thinking about, like if I have let's see, where's the window? Right. So basically if I have this kind of setup, right, like I have this like two wide path. Now, like especially this room is super bad when it comes to the pathing. Like the creeps keep like changing their mind all the time, so it's burning a lot of CPU. Now what I'm thinking is kind of, there's these segments of road, right? And basically like the moment you enter it, you should just follow the path until you kind of, you know, end up on the other side. because they're... Oh, but then we cannot repair the roads. Eek. Hmm. Yeah, maybe for now, I really the only thing I can do is just to increase the caching time for the paths. I'm trying to figure out how to decrease my CPU because it's spiking a lot. And I think it's mostly just the pathing, really. And because it's the workers and the remote miners, and they just, you know, those two rows just keep, you know, moving around a lot. Otherwise, I'm not really spending CPU time on anything. It's just the creep logic that's spending like basically all of my CPU. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out like, can I somehow simplify the movement logic? Like for example, now I'm just noticing this. Like I created this stupid situation here where since they need to move through this like single point, they need to like keep, you know, can try traveler. What is traveler? Okay. Yeah, I might have a look at that. Thanks. Oh, that's the emojis. Okay. But I mean, anything that renders in my browser should be fine, right? Like if I use any Unicode emoji that renders correctly in my browser, it should be okay. Okay. So I think I have a lot of offline reading to do. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you know what? I will kind of try to fix this problem in a very different way. So first of all, for the remote. Okay, first of all, fix problem number one, which is let's go to the map. This layout where I have like the single point of entry is really bad. let's just quickly go to that. Yeah, so this is a really bad idea. Let's just destroy this wall and make it a double wide rampart, because otherwise this, like, the creeps are just getting stuck over each other and it's really silly. And yeah, let's make the roads over here, and I think I should just make these. Yeah, I should just make these roads over here. So they basically never get stuck on the stupid swamps. Yeah. Okay, and so yeah, fixing this, then fixing for the remote miners and builders, just adding a longer cache so they don't like recalculate all the time. That's definitely something I should do, so let's just do that quickly. So remote builders. Oh, I'm just calling the build logic and real logic. That's yeah, so this will not be that easy to fix, damn it. Well, okay, but the one thing I can definitely improve is to kind of stop the local workers to spaz out so much, because right now I think there's actually part of the CPU cause is like they keep changing their minds too much. So making them more consistent in what they are doing, I think will actually improve my CPU utilization. So let's try to do that. So where's my notepad again? It disappeared as usual. Okay. Right, so what I was thinking for the job scheduling logic, what's happening right now, basically we go job by job, and actually let's have a look at that. So this is the claim job, refill jobs, right? So we have refill jobs, build jobs, repair jobs, upgrade jobs, and sweeper jobs. I don't think we actually have the sweeper jobs at the end, but yeah, that's, you know, irrelevant for now. So we basically create these things by job, but I don't think that's actually the correct structure. What we should be doing is we look at the room, get all the entities, and this thing can be happening on a relatively long period, and then each of those entities can generate not really right now. So my spawning is always set up to spawn the like biggest workers possible. And yeah, like I'm not. So one thing is because somehow the workers are not very good at being efficient. They keep like waltzing around too much. Especially in this room, like the controller isn't getting upgraded too much. Like it's kind of still level 5, not that much progress to level 6. And you can definitely see like they keep, you know, walking around too much and changing their mind on what they actually want to do because, you know, some other creep did something somewhere or some structure suddenly needs a repair. It's not consistent enough. Okay. So yeah, we can have these type of jobs for the different structures. Now, I already talked about this last time, but I really feel like the repair jobs need like some special care. We should really be repairing. So each repair job is for one step of repair. Now, what it means to be one step should differ by structure, but basically, if I have, let's say I have the the walls. Those are like those and ramparts are like the biggest thing, right? So if I have a wall that can go up to 300 million, right? So maybe what I want is each tick to be like 500k, and that's kind of the size I schedule with. So if I say, okay, like this thing needs to be repaired, then just repair it by 500k, and once that's done, the job ends. And if the wall still needs to like additional repair, then it will get rescheduled with the next tick. But basically whoever got scheduled to actually do this job should stick with it until it finishes the one tick, however we define the tick per building. And especially for things like roads, like many of the buildings, I don't really care if they decay that much. Like, it's not a complete disaster if I lose like one piece of road from time to time. And I can even have it's probably more efficient to repair than to rebuild, right? But I'm thinking like I can basically have like an in-memory blueprint of the room, how I want the room to look like, and then just like if something got destroyed, have my creeps automatically put down the construction site and then build it. Yeah. Now the tricky part here is, so the great thing about the system I'm using right now for the jobs is there's not really any problem with like priorities, as in if something, you know, comes up that's like super high priority, because all the jobs are kind of temporary assigned. What happens is there's suddenly something high priority, so all the, you know, within the limits that I have set up, however many creeps need to do it, will go and do it. So that's good. If I do this kind of more allocation-y system, I can definitely yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would have to be like, if I wanted to go crazy, right? Like, this can all be done like completely automatically. Like, you could have the room be built up by the creeps themselves, following just some simple rules like, I don't know, you know, space things this much, and, you know, whatever like logic you set up. It's actually not that hard to do it. You just need to make sure you don't like block off things. For roads, you can definitely do like basically pheromone optimization, where like if a creep walks over a space, it just leaves like a, you know, 1 point thing there, and then if you reach like a threshold, then you just build the road there. It will end up with like weird setups, of course, because they kind of naturally end up being built up, but you could, I can totally imagine doing that, where like the room just gets built up automatically. And it might even be more efficient, who knows? Like, I have no idea if the, you know, the building draws into good places. I'm trying to kind of like, if I see the creeps going through like one specific area, then sure, I will just, you know, go and build the road there. But it's definitely worthwhile to do that. And you could also have the opposite, right? Like you could yeah, you could also do the opposite. Like I'm actually really thinking about, like, if I would just use it for the roads. Like imagine that you have an algorithm that just goes, okay, like if I have a piece of road that's being unused for like I don't know how many ticks, then just remove that piece of road because it's useless, right? And if I have a piece of land that's being walked over, then just build a road there. Like it's a very simple thing to do. Because I mean you really just need to have a representation of the room where you kind of remember how many times you stepped on a thing. And then like once every, I don't know, 1,000 ticks or million ticks, you just go and like check if things make sense. I actually might do that. Sounds like a great idea now, thinking about that. Because I definitely have like roads that are useless, that are like no one is really using, right? So why have those? Because you just need to repair them. And it would kind of end up with this like organic build-up of roads in the most important places. Yeah. Okay, but I really want to fix the job system first. So how do I do this? Like this part, get all the entities. That's easy. So upgrading controller. So really, oops. Why did it not copy? That's upgrading the controller. That should be like, it's an important thing, but I don't really want to do it like super aggressively. I think like refilling things is super important. And this is actually the easiest job to schedule, because literally what this means is telling the creep, go and refill yourself to full energy. And then go and drop it off. So actually maybe that's the correct level of abstract, like level of what do you call it? I guess abstraction is the correct word. I can basically assign, like make sure that the creeps are stuck with the job within this kind of cycle, which is go grab energy and go do the job until you like spend your energy. And then within this cycle, don't change your mind about what you are doing. Just stick with what you are doing. And then once you are kind of free, go grab a new job. And then we will have logic on top of that that's actually doing the decisions of what jobs need to be done. So the moment the creep becomes free, it will go back into the system and figure out, okay, like what's the like most important job right now. And that can have like these things about the repair. What the heck? Okay. Assign a job, run that job until you return a value like full, and then switch based on logic and return value. Yeah. Okay. What I will do, I will take a very short break and I will sit down because my legs are starting to hurt from standing up. And we will start working on actually coding this thing. But yeah, I really like the idea of just like formulating jobs based of like the single cycle of the creep, where the creep just goes through the like workflow, as in go pick up energy. Once you have enough energy, go to a thing to do the thing at at that place. Once you are done, go back into the system as a free worker. I think that because that will already span quite a lot of ticks potentially. I think that's like a good enough chunk to work with. But yeah, I will be back in 5 minutes. I will refill my water, sit down, and then we will code this stuff. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, and I'm back. So let's start the coding. Okay. So we will need, first of all, this part that figures out the entities in a room. So I kind of feel like just creating a new thing. So let's just call it job, fancy job. Let's call it fancy job. We'll have the normal job scheduler and the fancy job scheduler, which is good because then I can kind of enable them room by room and not break anything in one step. That would be nice. Okay. So what is there anything I will actually want to reuse? Probably not really, but I definitely want the globals. That's true. Okay. And I should probably, yeah, I should probably start looking into the idea of extending the interfaces, because I think that that's definitely an idea. I forget who actually said it in the chat. I think it was Zos. Sounds like something that will simplify my code significantly. Okay. But we'll still have a class job scheduler, that's fine. Now, the constructor will be based on a room. So, and here what we want to do is oh, hey, welcome back. I don't remember when I have seen you last time, but it's been a couple of weeks, wasn't it? Or maybe I just missed your chat at some point, I don't know. Do feel free to correct me. My memory is horrifyingly bad usually, so, you know. We definitely want to have like a tick method. So this will be the thing that potentially updates the list of entities. And does whatever we need to do, like on tick. So we definitely want to remember the room. So this actually should be just a private room. Do we need anything more in the constructor? Maybe not for now. Okay, so then I also kind of want to have a private age number. Yeah. And at the beginning we just set it to 0. No, actually, at the yeah. So this is a thing I will need to store in the memory actually. Okay. So I also want to have a serialize method just to store the data in memory. And then, yeah, in the constructor I will need to actually deserialize the data. Okay. So where do we, I guess, how do we actually store this thing? I mean, we have room memory. So do I just want to store it over here? I mean, the easiest thing would just be job scheduler string, and you know, we just serialize into that. That might not be the worst idea ever. Yeah, probably let's do something like this. Okay, so I guess at that point I should have something like a scheduler state. Yeah, so it's almost like there should be export class job scheduler state. So this will be my state, and this will be just extends job scheduler state. And the state wait, what? That's not, is this not the syntax how you do it? Maybe not. Let me double check. TypeScript extend class class greeter without the colon. Yeah, okay. Always running into syntax. Constructors must contain a super call. Sure. How do you do it? Like this? Constructor. Yes. Okay. Exactly like that. So then H actually should be over here, and I guess it should be protected, not private. And I guess the serialize then should be on the state. The same. Yeah, the same for the constructor. Okay. So this will be basically the things we want to persist, and then anything that's like temporary state within a tick, I will be storing inside of the job scheduler class itself. So persistent state across ticks, and that's not how you spell it. Yeah. Yeah. So I think so we might not actually need to do anything special over here if I just take this and just say job scheduler state over here. Yeah, I will need to... Oh, damn it. But that will not work, right? I need to make it an interface, but that's okay. Yeah, okay, I need to move it as an interface inside of the memory thing. So, okay, so let's make it interface. H number. Yeah, now it's happy. Okay. Yes, implements. Okay. Yes. Um, Damn, is this the correct way to do it? Because now I need to implement the interface, but if it gets serialized based on the interface, it should not save the extra data. But I have to admit that I'm actually not sure if that's true. I mean, I know how I would use it. Is basically I take the thing from memory, look at it as, class job scheduler, and that should be fine. But well, I guess we will see. It should be actually relatively easy to test. Okay, so job scheduler implements this thing. It needs to have the age, sure, so private age number, and the way we can test it is actually pretty easy. So just increase the age each tick. And yeah, I need to initialize the age. Well, okay, but this is a problem now. If not age, or age is not the number, then age set to 0. No, I don't think this is actually meaningful. Age used before being assigned. Yeah, this is the problem is I want to read it from the memory, but okay, I guess I need to do like a small test on the side. So let's go into our main. So that was kind of thinking to do with this loss. First of all, I guess I need to import this. So import star as fancy scheduler from scheduler / fancy job. Yep. So let fancy job scheduler be right. I first need to get the spawns. Okay. So evo.room.memory.jobscheduler as fancy scheduler.jobscheduler. I was thinking about something like this, but it doesn't like it. Yeah. So how do I make this work? So The thing is, I already have the room limits over here, but I never. I just always access it directly. So I'm not quite sure. This goes back to my confusion about interfaces and classes and stuff from TypeScript, because I think I'm still not quite getting it. So there's classes, interfaces. Maybe that's how I should make it. Basically just take it in my constructor as the data. Then it can be an interface, that's fine. Now I will run into an issue if I actually want to store it, because I can make a variable of the type. Okay, maybe that's the way to do it then. Okay, so I have the job scheduler state, so that's fine. Then in here, what I actually want over here is, yeah, private private state is job scheduler state. And then in my main, so then what I would want to do here is this dot state dot h plus plus, yes. And I want to get rid of this nonsense. And then in my main, what I want to do is, once I have the spawn, will be new fancy schedulers job scheduler with evo.room as a room, and then evo.room.memory.job scheduler. Yeah, okay, it seems to be working. Now the question is, and yes, and then what we do here is fancy job scheduler dot tick, and I just want to log this to make sure that this is actually persisted across ticks. It should be, but just to double check. Oh, but I cannot actually read this. But what I can do, I can actually read it from memory. So evo.room.memory.jobscheduler.h. Yep. Okay, so if I now push this, hopefully nothing will explode. Let's quickly see if indeed no, things are exploding. Okay, good. let's quickly go back, push. Yep. Okay, so where did we go wrong? In the fancy job scheduler. I guess, well, in the constructor. So if state dot okay, technically state also can be undefined at this point. So I guess before I actually call this constructor, I want to make sure that my memory is actually initialized. And I already did have some of that somewhere. Where was that? I was initializing my memory somewhere here. Because I definitely had the situation where I kind of was relying on things being in memory, but then of course on the first time they're not there. I don't see it. Okay, let's just quickly make a function. So function init memory. So it should be memory dot rooms, and I guess this is a map, right? Yes. So for all rooms, actually maybe that's an overkill. So let's just do it in here for now. So evo.room.memory.jobscheduler. So if we don't have this, then evo.room.memory.jobscheduler, let's make it h0 like this. So for the first time, let's just initialize it with the state. So now if I create this thing, it should actually work and should not be complaining because I'm not accessing anything. Ooh, what? Oh yeah. Now it should be fine. Okay, so where's my... Doesn't really see my debug output, that's weird. Ah, here it is. Current tick 10. Okay, so it's definitely working. Okay, so now we have the state. Yeah, we need to figure out like a better way to deal with this stuff, like the handling the memory, like because there's always this period where like I set up my memory types to kind of have something in the memory, but whenever there's like the first time it hits this logic, none of that exists. So everything of that is like null or undefined. So in that case, I want to do first like the initialization with the initial state. But the problem is that needs to happen before I create the objects that actually use that memory. So it's I guess it's almost like I should have like a static method in here, like init memory, init scheduler memory for room memory, something like this, right? then what I can do is if room memory dot job scheduler, so if I don't have this, then I just init it. Yeah, okay, maybe something like this makes the most sense. So yeah, so if I don't have it, room memory dot job scheduler, just make it H0. Yep. And then this hides the logic from here. So what I just do over here is fancy scheduler dot not like that. Fancy scheduler dot job scheduler dot init. Okay, that's a lot of indirection, but yeah. Yeah, the tricky part here, this is per room, and I don't necessarily want to initialize this for all the rooms. Yeah. So it's almost like I should have a factory method that just returns the job scheduler, and that one could straight up do the initialization. Possibly, yeah. Okay, but anyway, since we dealt with that, so now I have a room, I have my state. So what I want to do is first of all, I want to remember all the objects in the room. So let's go back to the notes. So buildings that have energy and need to be refilled, all construction sites, buildings that decay, and well, okay, it's not just buildings that decay, because I also want to build up walls. Buildings that need repair is the correct phrasing, and the controller. Okay. So the actual state I want to keep is I want to have a set of it can be a construction site or structure that's probably it. It's like either a construction site or a structure, right? Wait, is controller controller? No, it's structure controller, right? Structure yes. Yeah, so set of these. Now this is a thing I want to update, like not too much. And yeah, so for example, for the walls, I probably they really should end up here only if they actually need repair. So I don't know, if I have the period like every 1000 ticks, right? Then at that point I kind of figure out, okay, like this wall actually needs repair, and I just put it into here. Okay. So let's put it like this. So if this dot state.h. How do you do modulo in JavaScript? It will be definitely like a math something. Oh, so you can just do like a basic arithmetic operators? That's neat. Okay, I was kind of expecting it to be weirder. Okay, so for now I just do every 1000 ticks. Okay. Alright, so the ticks you want to count every time. Okay. So then what I want to do is I want to do room find. So I want to find type find construction sites, and this dot room dot find structures, and both of these will have filters. So filter on this one, now I don't remember, I already have it in the worker logic somewhere, or I guess in the build logic. So if I look, right, find my construction sites. Okay, so even if it's a construction site for a neutral building like a road or container, I guess it's still marked as mine. I guess we can check that very easily. So, okay, let's just quickly look around. If I have some construction sites. Okay, owner happy. Yeah, okay, so I'm actually the owner of this. That's good. And yeah, the rampart here expired, unfortunately. This is the big part of like the construct, like the logic here really isn't really well built right now, and it keeps like things are expiring and stuff like that. So it's not good. And I guess for the ramparts, I will actually need to have a specific logic there, because yeah, the problem is they basically get built with one hit point, and with my current logic, what's happening is they then switch from the build job, which is relatively high priority, to repair job, which is not that high priority, and they just expire. So building up ramparts is actually pretty hard with my current setup. Yeah, so that's one of the many things that need adjustment. Okay, so let's go back to the code. So I guess I want to do find my construction sites, and I don't really want to have a filter on that. Now, yeah. So I think what I want to do here is just entities clear. Is clear what I think it is. JavaScript set clear. Removes all elements. Yep. Okay. So it is indeed what I thought it was. Okay. So all the sites, they should just get injected into the set. So entities dot. I think we need to add them one by one. There isn't like. Yeah, I don't think there's like a good method to just add a bunch of stuff, which is fine. So for site of sites, entities dot add site. Now with the structures, I need to be a bit more picky. So here I will actually do need a filter. So I want to filter building. So what am I doing? Building structure. So if I mean, one thing I could also do is I could actually keep these by job already. The thing is that will, yeah, so there's actually a potential for one target to have multiple jobs attached to it, technically, right? Is that the case? I think it is. Let's have a look. So if we is there something that needs like both repair and refill or something like that? Maybe not. So containers decay, but that's fine. Maybe there's only. Oh no, so yeah, okay, obviously, because if we get attacked, things can get damaged, and then we can have, like, for a tab, for example, it might both need a repair and it might need a refill. So yeah. Then maybe I should actually store these by the job type. So something like private build entities, which honestly will be just a set of construction sites, because the only thing that we can build is construction site. Then we can have private repair entities, set structure, private refill entities, which would be structure extension or structure tower or structure spawn, then upgrade will be set of structure controller, not container, controller. Yeah. I think this will be a more reasonable approach. So then yes, so instead of entities over here, I put it into build entities. And yeah, actually, since I will be serializing this stuff, what I should be having here is just ID of the thing. Yeah. So site.id. Now the okay. I need to have a look at game. Where the heck is it? Get object by ID. This method has low CPU cost. Now, what does that actually mean? Okay, what does this actually say about the find? So if I do room find, okay, so this says medium. Okay. Results are cached automatically for the specified room and type before applying any custom filters. This automatic cache lasts until the end of the tick. Okay. So if I'm finding the same type of thing inside of my room many times within a single tick, that is cached. But that's not particularly useful. Yeah, okay. No, I think this still makes sense. Okay, so ID structure extension or ID structure tower or ID structure spawn is this thing. So in the filter, so if I guess I should do a switch building dot structure type. So if this is structure extension or structure spawn or case structure tower, if the structure is actually mine, so if building dot wait, why don't I have an owner? method here. That's oh, because some of them don't have that. Building as structure. On structure dot. Wait, what? Yeah, owner dot username. Well, that's the weird thing because yeah, why the heck is it done like this? Like if I convert it into own structure, the owner is still optional. Which is weird. I mean, if it's an own structure, I guess, yeah, okay, so some structures can be neutral because the control, for example, is a structure and it can be neutral, but it doesn't have the owner actually set. But it can also be owned. Okay. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But it makes my code complicated, that's annoying. Yeah, so I mean, for these things, so extension spawns and towers, this will always have an owner, right? Let me just double check that. So, I mean, the spawn, what the? Okay, there's something weird with the UI again. So obviously spawn has to have an owner, extensions also have an owner, and the towers obviously also have an owner. Yes, okay. So I guess I can just assume that this is a thing. So if yeah, so let's just do it like this. So const refill building is this thing. And I need the brackets for that then. So if I have an owner, so refill building dot owner, and the owner is me, dot username is the same as the what? Yeah, I'm not really remembering who I am over here, because I'm just passing in the room. Right, yeah, I guess then should I be passing in the spawn? Actually, one thing I could do is I'm importing the globals. So what I literally should do is export const me equals this thing, and just work with that. Not this, but globals.me. Yeah, that's probably the cleanest solution. I just hope that I guess the easiest thing would be just to print it to make sure that this is actually correct. But anyway, if it is this, so if it's an extension, spawn, or a tower, and I own it, then what I want to do is to put it into refill entities. At refill building.id. This dot refill entities dot, yeah. It's not assignable. Oh, damn it. Okay, let's do it. Annoying. Yeah, I need to make it very explicit. Or structure tower, or structure spawn, right? Okay. And considering that I just remembered this, it would definitely make sense next to these to also have private disassembly entities. So this is not really, so this is a more of an offensive thing, but, and for now we are just disassembling the spawn, but it totally makes sense to have it here, because under this logic, basically in the else if structure else if building structure type is structure spawn, then I want to add it into disassemble entities. Building.id, and this will be building as structure spawn, because we know that's correct. .id. Okay. So yeah, so if we run into an extension spawn or a tower, and it's ours, we want to add it into the refill. If it's an enemy spawn, we want to add it into the list of things to disassemble. So that's one thing. Now, if it's an extension, I guess technically all of these might need a repair. Yeah, so I should be also adding them into this dot repair entities. So what are you complaining about? So here I have a structure. Wait. Because I didn't put the ID over here. Yes, so this would be ID of structure, not just structure. Yes. Okay, now it's happy. So yeah, so if you have a extension spawn on our tower, then those need to be both refilled and repaired. If it's an enemy, then just disassembled. I guess, sorry, if it's an enemy spawn, then just disassembled. Okay. So then if we I guess by default, anything needs to be repaired, right? I guess, well, everything that's not an enemy building, which would be kind of this logic. So, repair building as own structure. Yeah, that doesn't actually work. I mean, I guess the only two neutral things that don't have an owner at all is a road and a container, right? Everything else should have the owner field. Let me actually double check that. So own structure. So I mean, we can have a look at own structure. Well, okay, not exactly like this. Is there... Structure road. Oh, also walls are neutral. Okay, obviously, right. And I need to read up on minerals because I have an extractor, but I'm not really using it yet. Yeah, I think that's the case. So container controllers, controller is owned, extension is owned, extractor is owned, factory, invader, core. Okay, so technically I don't know if this is... It should have an owner, I think, but let's just double check because we do actually have one nearby. Here, okay. So, invader core, it has an owner, okay. I was looking through all the types of rooms. Where did that go? Yeah, here. So keep a layer, structural lab, link, server, yeah, power bank, power spawn, portal. Okay, I expect portals to be neutral. So let's double check that very quickly. So there were some portals here. Okay. Yes, so these are also neutral. Okay. So all the neutral things that we can have here is wall, container, road, portal. What else was there? Man, my memory is really bad. Wall, road, portal, container. Yeah, so that should be it. Okay. Well, for... I guess we can capture them over here. So the neutral structures we actually want to repair is structure wall, structure container, structure road. So these are neutral structures that we actually want to repair. Okay. So these were refill and repair structures. Slash disassembly for enemies. Okay. Now, okay, so just to make sure that we don't end up, I mean, alternatively, I can just list everything. It will not really be a big deal. Can I? Yeah. I could just take this thing. Because that's kind of... Yeah. Oops. And basically don't have a have a default, but just like log an error in a default. So if you find something that we basically don't expect, just log an error, and that's it. That might be the best approach. It will be very verbose, but it will be reasonably resilient. So okay, extension we are handling, spawn we are handling. Tower we are handling, then walls, containers, and roads we are handling. So wall, road, and container. Right. Now I guess here I really want to pay attention to the state of the room. So looking at neutral structures, I don't want to end up in a situation when I start sending my workers into a different room with the goal of repairing stuff if the room is like controlled by someone else, right? So I guess I can check that by basically saying that I only want to repair if I either have the controller in, so either if there's no controller or if I have the controller reserved. Actually no, if there's no controller I don't give a crap. So if either I own the controller in the room or I have it reserved. Okay, so if room dot this room dot controller, so if there is a controller and either this room dot controller dot owner dot username is globals.me or this dot room dot controller dot reservation dot username dot Okay, step by step. There is another. Damn it. These ifs are very complicated. Okay, so. Okay. So there is a reservation, and the reservation is for me. Reservation.username is globals.me. Okay, so if this is basically definition, this room is mine. And actually this looks like a thing I should. Damn it. Yeah, this is like a prime example of a thing where I should use the interface extensions instead of just writing this like on the side. But I really feel if I start doing that today, I will not get anywhere with this thing. So let's not do that. But I think next week I will definitely sit down and try to think about how I can basically change these things into interface extensions. Because this really should be room.is mine or something. Okay, so if that's the case, then this dot repair entities dot add what we're actually calling it building add building.id. Cool. So that's for the neutral ones, and then for the okay, so keeper layer, that's something we don't want to do anything with. Okay, what else is here? Structure portal, yep, same. Invader core again, same idea. Okay, so for ramparts, links, controllers, storage observers, power banks, power spawn. Okay. Power bank. Non-players power resource which can be obtained by destroying this structure. Okay. Power spawn. Okay. So power banks is actually neutral thing. So okay, power bank, move that here. But power spawn, I guess, is something that I would control. Room hits ID, but it doesn't need to have an on. My. Also, there's actually a. Wait a second. Oh, it's from own structure has a my. Okay, yeah, sure. So power spawn is fine. Extractor, lab, terminal, nuclear factory. Okay, so these things. Oh, okay, actually, where's the controller? Okay, that's the special part. So controller is still special. So case, structure controller, if yeah, I guess if I own it, yeah, if yeah, this room dot controller. I almost feel I should have a special logic for this. This is kind of awkward. But yeah, I mean, there's always at most one controller in a room, I guess, so this is fine. So if there is a controller and this thing holds, then I want to upgrade it. Right, so then this dot upgrade entities at building.id. It's not assignable to structure, right. Obviously it's not. So I guess actually I don't have to go through the building ID. I can go through this room.controller.id. And why are you complaining? Oh, because this needs to be an ID of structure controller, not just structure controller. Yep. Oops. So that's the controller. Okay. And these things I just want to upgrade, I think. Repair, I think, and nothing else. So okay. Oh, damn it. Okay, so all of these things just well, I guess I should check if I own them, because these are not neutral buildings, right? So yes, so const owned building must be building as owned building. Damn it, as own structure, damn it. Using the wrong namings everywhere. Yeah, and then if owned building dot me, no, me, my, that's what I'm looking for, damn it. Owned building dot my, then I actually want to edit as a repair thing. So this dot repair entities dot add owned building dot id. Yep. Oh, and there needs to be a break over here and over here. Yep. Now, if we run into anything else, which is like the keeper layer and whatnot, then so these I still want to put in here because these should be basically no op. But then if we run into like some unexpected value, which can definitely happen once, like if ever like a new building types get introduced, this would basically have to be upgraded to, you know, have more of these. So this is just, you know, no op break, and then default console.log unexpected structure type found, and I guess what I can do like building dot structure type, yeah, something like this. And just break, right? Okay, so this should kind of set up all my my like cached information about the things in this room and what I don't want to do with these. Now this is complaining because I'm not initializing it, which is a fair point. Now the reason why I'm not doing that is actually a bit more complicated. So okay, I have the job scheduler state. Now since these are sets, I cannot just store them in the state because sets cannot be cleanly serialized. So this actually needs to be something that's that will need to have like a proper serialized method. Yeah, so what I will do is I'm taking the job scheduler state, which is fine, but here I need to do the deserialization, kind of similar to what I do in the global state. So I just want to basically grab this library from here. So import as mem from let's go out into data and lib. So then mem.deserialize a set of id. Okay, this will get a bit complicated. So build entities is id of construction site. Okay. So build entities equals mem deserialize set of construction site from state dot, and I actually need to add the fields. But the point is these fields will be of type string, because that's the only way we can kind of keep the sets correctly serialized. Okay, so in my type definitions, basically what I want to do, I want to take these fields from the job scheduler and just have them as strings over here with the same names and everything, but just as strings. And so one thing that might definitely happen, and this kind of goes back to my I'm still, you know, learning things about this game. It can totally happen, and I really wouldn't be surprised that actually like doing this pre-processing is just nonsensical, and we shouldn't really be storing this across, you know, ticks and whatnot. So maybe this is completely pointless, but yeah, you know, part of the exploration. I don't really expect that will happen. I expect that this, you know, this pre-built every, I don't know how many ticks, and then just deserializing should be faster, but who knows. Okay. What are you complaining about? It needs to be this dot build. Yes, indeed. Then this dot disassemble entities mem.deserialize set of an id of yeah, structure spawn. State dot disassemble entities. This dot refill entities. Yeah, let's just copy the type again. Mem.deserialize set of this. Refill entities. Yep. This dot repair entities, mem.deserialize set again, and I think this was just id structure. Where are you? Repair, yep, id structure. Wait, what? Oh, I actually need to put in the state dot refer entities. Yep. This dot upgrade entities should be the last thing. So again, this here is set, and need to copy. Oh yeah, basically this is just the controller. Yes, makes sense. State dot upgrade entities. Yep. Okay, what? Ah, yes, okay. So here now we need to initialize these things to specific values. Oh, come on. Repair entities and upgrade entities. Yep. So again, this is just if we don't have the job scheduler record in our memory, this is what will kick in. And the thing is that these serialize are already handling internally if this like sub field is not set, which is fine. And then since we will also have the serialize, so serialize. So this is a thing we will need to call. This will actually store it back into the scheduler state. So state dot this dot state dot build entities is mem.serialize. And now fortunately we don't have to pass in the set type because it will know. So this will be this dot build entities, and just copy this. So then disassembly entities, the same idea on both sides. Refill. Repair. And upgrade. Okay, so this should be ready. So we can test that. So let's in here. We are doing the dot tick. That's fine. The thing we are missing is we want to just then call scheduler dot. No, fancy job scheduler. Why is the code completion is becoming to be very weird? Okay, so now since we called the serialize, it should store it back into the state of the job scheduler. And just to see that this is actually working, I will set the to like every 50 ticks, which should be like a reasonable amount of waiting for us to see if it's actually working. Okay, let's go back to somewhere where I'm actually present. Come on. Okay, so nothing is exploding, but now if you look at specifically our main room, so rooms, the E27S1 is our main room. Job scheduler. This is still empty. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet. Okay, actually, I think I'm printing the tick. Am I not? Where is it? Yeah, it's 1077. So yeah, we need to wait a bit for this to kick in. Yeah, so in like 19 ticks it should actually generate this data. Okay, 10 more ticks. Okay, almost there. And yep, and now we should have the stuff in the memory, so let's just reload this structure. Actually, let me just do it here. So rooms.e27s1. Yep. So inside of the job scheduler, yeah, we have bunch of object IDs, which is perfect. So we don't have any build entities, we don't have any disassembly entities, we have quite a lot of the refill entities, most of them are the extensions. We have a lot of repair entities. Our memory utilization jumped a bit, but we are still like nowhere near anything meaningful, so this is totally fine. And I'm sure this actually can be compressed because or maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. So there's one thing is these like hashes are, they all have like a 5F. No, not all of them actually. Like they're weirdly regular like numbering, so I don't know if they are just like ordinal numbers or what's happening here. So maybe this can be compressed in some way, I don't know. But yeah, okay, so we have this cache. Good. So with this, okay, with this, when I'm actually scheduling stuff, I don't have to then call the find, and yeah, let's switch it to like every 1000 ticks. So I'm not burning my CPU for no reason. Okay, I've been streaming for 3 hours. Do I want to start with the actual job scheduling, or do I want to leave it for the next week? Yeah, I think I will wrap up for today. This is a good like self-enclosed piece of code. And then next week we will actually start using this data structure to do the job scheduling. And for that, the reason why I don't really want to start on that is that I kind of need to change the way, like these things over here. Yeah, like for example the build logic, like it will not be find construction sites. It will be like, you know, go to very specific place, you know, do something there. This will be way, like there will be way less logic for the creeps to kind of do stuff over here. It will literally be get object by ID, go to that object, do your thing, then register yourself as a empty worker. So most of this logic will have to change. So that's why I kind of don't really want to start on that right now, because that will be actually like a big chunk of work. I will be kind of throwing away all of this, well, most of this code. Yeah, because currently the workers are pretty smart, which is one of the reasons why like this nonsense is happening here. Like they keep, yeah, this is just ridiculous, like what's happening here. Like there's a bunch of these workers that have like little remaining energy in them, and they just keep like, you know, doing very stupid things, and blocking other workers. Yeah. like I created these construction sites at the beginning of the stream, and you can see that not much has happened. So obviously, like, my logic for actually doing work is very bad. And then I might actually have a look at it during the week at some point if I have some free time, but I think it's good enough for today. So let's then visit someone again. Do you have any recommendation who we should visit? We don't have that many people today, but we can definitely make a quick visit to someone. Let me just look around who's actually online. Okay, let's make a visit over here. Okay, perfect. So thanks a lot for joining me today. It has been a shorter stream, but yeah, yesterday I went a little bit overboard with the timing, so makes sense. We did make some progress on the scheduling logic, but yeah, most of that will happen next week. So thanks again for joining me, and see you next week at the same time as usual.